Morning guys, welcome to another Zen pop-up. So over the last few weeks I've sort of seen reoccurring things about links inside of Zenler. Now this could be related to the menu in the system itself. It can be related to dropping links into email broadcasts, or even in the articles or blog posts themselves. And also people have also said about PDFs and like how can I get people to be able to download my PDFs. Maybe you've got a marketing funnel and you're putting links in there and then people are not able to download the PDF. So I'm going to try to make all this really clear to you how this works. So with the menu system itself, we're going to start with the menu system at the top on your website. You're going to be able to drop links in there. If you create a new page, of course, you can add a new link to the menu itself and you can link to it. Now, there's probably something that you are doing not wrong, but probably not looking at the future. Like if you've got a new Zenler.com at the moment site, so in this particular case I'm going to share my screen. You can see here it says zen_popup.newzenler.com. okay, so this is the actual web address of the site. So what if I put those links in here, like I went to all courses, I had zen_popup.newzenler.com/all courses, or even /support, and I had the whole URL in there. Now what is going to cause a problem is that if you change that to your own custom domain, say zenpopup.com/support, then it might not work or it might not resolve because you've got the whole URL in there. So one important aspect I always like to bring up is the use of relative links inside of your site. Okay, so when we talk about relative links, we talk about absolute links and relative links. So an absolute link would be the whole lot, so https://zenpopup.newzenler.com. okay, and then if you go into another page /about us or something. So a relative link can just be the /about us, so it's really shortened down. Now one thing to take away from this is that relative links can only be used inside of your site, your one site that you're working on. You can't use a relative link to something like Google or YouTube or Facebook or any of those. You have to put the whole link in there. Okay, so relative links versus absolute links. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to set a page up now. I'm just going to focus our first attention on the menu system at the top so that it becomes clear. And then I'm going to go into dropping links into posts and all of these things. All right. So we got it all covered for you. If you want to drop any comments in here, anyone's watching, just go and put where you're from, say hi, great. And we're going to jump into it. So I'm going to just close this down and we're going to go into the site itself. I'm just going to go to the site and I'm just going to create a page. And I'm just going to show you what you probably are doing and what you should do within your site itself. So let's flick up the site and go to our site pages, and let's just create a new page. I'm just going to call it an About Us page, and just drop some text into here. So let's add a new page in here. So I'm adding a new page to the menu system. This will be for public view, so it will be for everybody. I will show you that you can do it for public or just logged in users. So I'm going to call this About Us. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to put it in there. So my URL is going to be this. So I'm going to now go page, it's visible for all users. Remember, this can be visible for logged in users or all users. So logged in users are people that have bought a course from you, or if you've got your registration page open, they've registered on your site, they can also see that page as well. I'm also going to click publish page anyway. Generally you wouldn't do this straight away because you want to work on the page first and then publish it last, but for the sake of this tutorial I'm going to turn that on and I'm going to click add. Okay, so it's going to give me the header, footer and a bit in the middle that I can just drop some text in. For this example, I'm not going to go overboard. I'm just going to drop a block in there saying About Us with just some lorem text straight in there from the system itself. So just 2 blocks put in there from that page. Okay, so it's loaded up. So let's go and drop my first block in here. Let's go and add a row. Let's just add 100% row. Let's just go in here and just drop in a heading. So I'm just going to go and drop an H1 heading. Always best practice is the heading to be in H1 tag. About us page. Got any questions? Drop them in the chat. And now I'm just going to chuck in a just a simple text thing in here. So let's just go and drop text in there. So I'm just going to leave it like that, 𝗂𝗏𝗏. So I'm now going to click save. So now I click save. It's going to give me the SEO settings. You should definitely fill those out. So you should write the title, make it descriptive, meta description, a short paragraph that includes keywords and things like that. So I might use something about Zenler. Zenler pop-ups are free tutorials for you to get knowledge on learning the Zenler platform. So that would be a good meta description under the keywords separated by a comma. So that's no space, just a comma. You put in there something like Zen pop-ups, comma, learning Zenler, comma, free Zenler training, comma, you know, that kind of thing. And you can also put a social media post in there. Now, if you guys are not filling out the SEO settings, you definitely should for every page. People have said, what about the private pages? Well, you don't really need to, but I think it's a good habit just to get into. So I'm not going to fill this out for here because this is training. So I'm just going to click done. Then I'm going to click save. You're going to notice that SEO comes up on the first time you save the page, just to make sure you've done it. That's how important it is, and that's why we put it in there. All right, so I've got this page in here now. If I go to my pages, you can see that I have a URL in here. And what I've got here is the absolute URL. So I'm copying, look, the whole URL. So let's just copy that. I just want to show you, test it, just to show you that there's no difference. So I'm going to jump back in the page now. I'm going to add that to my dynamic header block here. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to menu. I'm just going to add a new block. And we're just going to go in there and call it about us. Okay, now under visible to, I can select all logged in users. I'm going to choose all. And action, I'm going to say go to link. Now I'm going to drop that whole link in there. So you notice it's a whole link. It's 𝗂𝗶𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀.com. All that stuff is in there right the way through. And I'm going to click save. Just before I click save, there's also open in a new tab. This could be handy. It opens as a new tab like this, yeah? So like that, it would open up as a new tab if you wanted it to. This can be handy if you're just giving people additional information. You don't want to lose them from the site itself. Just have them open up into a new tab. I'm going to leave it off for now and I'm going to click save. So now I've done that, we've got this page. It's publicly viewable. I'm going to click save on the page itself. And now that will be saved. So if I go to Zen pop-up in incognito, this is how I always test. Go to an incognito window. We're going to drop that URL in there. And bang, there it is. And notice about us. So if I click it now, let's click through. You're going to see that we've gone to the right page. Look down the bottom left when I mouse over the about us. It says zenpopup.newzenler.com/about us. So that is the whole URL. Okay. So if I changed it, it would mess everything up. So if I added a custom domain now, like zenpopup.com, it would mess this up, because it's no longer finding this .newzenler.com. So this is where the relative links can come in. So instead of grabbing all of this right the way across, all you need to do on your site is grab the /about us. Now remember, I said this once and I'll say it again because we will get questions. Can I do this for external sites or other sites I own, like a WordPress site? No, it's got to be on this site, this domain, inside only these pages or pages inside your site. It can't be outside of that. And it's always from the end of the domain. So the .com in this case could be .co.uk, could be whatever you've got as your custom domain. But what I'm saying to you is it should always be from that end part. So it should be / and then whatever it is. Like for this one would be /template. Okay, so I'm going to grab that again. I'm going to copy it. So now I'm just copying the end part. I'm going to go into here and we're going to change this. So under here, we're going to go down to edit this. And instead of having this whole lot in here, I'm going to delete it all out. And I'm just going to put / about us. And I'm going to click update. So now let's go and refresh the page. And let's see if it works. So I'm going to go again into an incognito window and we're going to paste that in there. And you'll still see it comes up. Now if I mouse over it, you're going to see down the bottom, it still says down here in the left hand corner when I mouse over, 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗀𝗀.com/about-us. So it's resolved to the right link anyway, because it's just got that end part. So what I'm saying is, for all of your navigation, unless they're going externally, you should use relative links. This is really, really important for you guys that are just new to the system, you know, because you're probably going to want to use a custom domain when you upgrade to Pro or Premium. So if you're going to use a custom subdomain or a custom domain, and you've put all them in as actual links, then you need to make sure that they're relative links. We get this question a fair bit with like, all my links don't work. I've changed it to a custom domain. All my links don't work. Are they absolute links? Yeah, they are. Oh, you need to use the relative links, or you need to use the absolute link of the new domain that you just set up. So this can save you a lot of headaches later. So that's how links work. So with this little bit of a tutorial on this beginning part on links, we've talked about the links and we've talked about what the links do inside here. So we talked about visible to all. This would be only for logged in users, people who are registered or students on your site. Logged out users, only for people that are not logged in, okay? And you can have none up there. And of course we have open new tab as well, which will open a new tab like you've got here on your site. So we've covered a bit there. So that's quite a lot of information, but it's quite easy to digest. And it brings us on to dropping links into your site itself and problems that you might have. So the other thing here is there are common things, like you can set up open new tab even in a link in the page, you know. So there are common things that are running throughout. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to show you how to drop a link in text. Now, all of our blocks have links, whether you're doing a email broadcast, whether you're doing a funnel, whether you're doing any of your live pages, any of your course pages, any of your site pages. They all have this editor in here that allows you to drop links in there. So I'm going to go and just grab my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Steve/Zenler. I'm going to grab this link. Now notice I'm grabbing the whole link because it's not in my site. I'm not using a relative link. So let's go in here and just drop this into some of this text. So if I want to put the link to the YouTube channel on here, I can select it. So it's left hand click, put the cursor where you want it, left hand click, hold that button, drag, release. And now you're going to have this little link icon. So this is common throughout the site. Whenever you see a little link icon, it means you can drop a link in there. So I'm going to click insert and I'm going to just put that URL in there. So there it is, the whole URL. And you can see the text that's been added to, and notice open in new tab. So if I click insert now, that will go in there as a new link. And if I click save and we view this in good old incognito window, there it is. I'm going to refresh this. We're going to get that link pop up in there. Now watch when I click it, it will open in a new tab. It will open up there. It won't open on the page. Let's click that and bang. That's because I'm in incognito mode, but if I click accept all, it's going to take me straight to the Zenler YouTube channel. So that is how we can open it up. Now, just like I did that for here, if I want to edit it, I can just select the text again, and you have the option to unlink, to edit the link, or to open the link. So I'm going to go to edit the link. This time I'm going to turn off open in new tab. I'm going to click update. I'm going to click save, and this time we're going to check this out again, jump into incognito, refresh this, and what you'll see now is it won't open up as a new tab, it'll open up on top of this. So there we go, and it's jumped straight to it there. You can see that, you know. So that is the difference. It'll open as a new tab, which is quite good if you don't want to lose them from the site. Can be good if there's a lot of links and things in a page. You want to keep them on the page, so you're opening up additional information as new tabs for them to look at. Try not to overuse it, because otherwise they can have like 20 or 30 tabs opening up along here, and then they won't know where they started from. So be careful when you're doing these sort of things. Okay, so that is how you can drop a link in there. Now, the other question, and I'm going to do this in a few different places just so you can see. So let me go in and let's just go to an email broadcast. Let's create a new email broadcast, call it test, and click create. This is something that people are asking as well. So I'm going to choose all contacts. Okay, so link in here. So again, select the text, little gear icon, the little link icon, insert link, drop the link in there, open in a new tab if you want to, click insert, and there we go, we've got our new tab. So I can preview this as well. If I preview it here, I can click this and you're going to see that it'll open up our Zenler page there. So it all works. So that's how you can drop a link in there. Now the other thing was, I was asked about how to have a PDF, because if you have two types, you have one where media that you've uploaded to the media library, it can be for only for logged in users. Now this is really important because some of the content that people have paid for, so you only want it for people that have logged in, that are actually accessing it logged in. Now the other option is to have content that you can give out for free. So if you're trying to build your email list, you've taken a details from someone as a lead and you want to give them the free PDF, and this is where the problems happened, because people have included a link in there that is for logged in users, and they are not logged in users, they are leads. So when they clicked it, they haven't been able to open it. So you need to change the restriction on that file and make it accessible for everybody on the site. So I think I've got a PDF made up inside here. I'll have a look. So I'm going to site and I'm going to media library, and I haven't got a PDF. So I'm just going to make a quick PDF up. Why not? Let me just go back to me for a second. And throw up the Canva account, and I'll just do a quick PDF for you so you can see. All right, so I'm going to create a design. I'm going to choose a custom size. By the way, guys, you can choose any size that you want for your PDF. It doesn't matter. I'm just doing it this set size. So I've got this design here, and I'm going to throw in a quick template when Canva decides to load, and export it out. I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to make it accessible for everybody. So let's choose one of these. Okay, something like that. Let's just do another page. Doesn't matter what it is. So, little Canva template. I'm going to export this out as PDF. So I'm going to go share, I'm going to go download. I'm going to choose a PDF from here, PDF standard. Oops, hold on. Oops, PDF standard. All pages, yep. Click done, download. That will download down here in the bottom corner. There it is, PDF. I'm going to open that in a new folder. Okay. So I have two monitors set up, so you can see that there's the PDF there. So I'm going to upload that now into the system itself. So let's close Canva down, jump in here, upload a file. Going to jump into my downloads. There it is. I'm going to click open, and I'm going to click upload. Okay, so now I've got my media in there. Now it doesn't matter if it's a JPEG, doesn't matter if it's video. The same thing works for all media types, PowerPoint presentations, zip files, all this stuff. Yeah, so the same method. I don't need to show you each media type. You know that by doing the same thing for each one, it will work. Okay, so I've got my PDF loaded here. I can view my PDF here. So if I click that, it's going to give me a PDF, a view of my PDF. Looks good to me. The next one is here where we can actually share the file. Now this is where we have the problem. So I'll just run through these buttons. In here you can click edit and you can actually change the name of it if you want to. So I don't want to do that. You can also add a tag to it as well to tag it. You can view it, we've already looked at that. We can download it, so I can download it from the system. You'll notice you can download all of these. So if you want to download something that you've uploaded because you've lost it on your machine, which you should never do, you can always download it from here if you want to. And of course you can delete it in there. But the one we're looking at is share. Okay, so inside here, if we share this file, you're going to see that it's going to give us a sharing link. But look what it says here. Logged in users with this link can download. Now we have defaulted it at this. We haven't made it public. We defaulted it to logged in users because it's really important. Most of your content you're going to want locked. So we don't want you having to go into the media library every time and changing it to logged in users if we've set it public. So all of it is private. So if you want public, which is a less thing that you do, then you would have to come into the media library and you need to change it to anyone with a link can download. So this is really important. If you've got it as logged in users and you send that link out to someone that's not logged into your system, they will not be able to download it. That's the big thing to take away. So I'm going to say anyone with a link can download. Now I've changed that. I can copy this. Notice I can just copy it there. I can click done. I can jump back to our email broadcast or even into the site itself, site pages, doesn't matter. The link thing works the same way every place. I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to change that link to this free PDF. So inside here we've got free PDF for you to download, and we'll just select that across there, choose the link, insert link, drop that link in there, and you can open it as a new tab, click insert, and there we go. So now let's preview this. So you can click in there and you're going to see that the PDF will come up in there and download for them. So that's how you can do it. So that's how links work. So like I told you, like this, once you've got that link, you could go into site pages. You might have a public page that you want to give people away. You might have a marketing funnel. You might want to drop it into an email automations in the marketing funnel. But that is how the links work. So you can also put links on images. It's worth pointing this out as well, because some of you are probably going to ask that question. So you might create a button of your own, and you might create a button in the system, and the same thing applies. You can apply this in the same way. So I've still got that link in my cache to that free PDF. So I'm going to open up the test page that we just created, and I'm just going to drop a button in there first of all. I'm going to do the same thing, and then I'm going to drop an image in there, and I'm going to drop a link into the image as well. So that covers, I think that covers everything to do with links. So let's go in here and add a new button. Let's just go and grab a button. I'm not going to do anything fancy with a button. I'm just going to go in and actually I might change it a little bit. There you go, make it rounded, and come into the settings. So let me just full width, normal. Okay, so I'm going to go to settings now. Inside settings, we're going to go free PDF, and I'm going to choose an action, go to link, and remember I've still got that link. If you've lost the link because you haven't copied it, remember you can get it again. You just need to go into the site, just need to go to the media library, you need to go to this, you need to open the share icon up, make sure anyone with a link can download, copy. Remember also, if you only want people logged in, you choose the logged in. Yeah. So now I've copied that link. I can go in there where it says link, action, go to link, and drop it in there. That's the URL. Notice I could use the relative URL if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use the whole URL because it is a link. So I'm going to kind of be careful about that. And I'm going to click save. And now I've got a button in there with the link. So let's do the same thing for an image. Let's go and grab an image. We've got a nice little image there. So I'm going to take this image, I'm going to drag this in. I'm going to go to the settings icon on there, go to settings, and we can click on here. On click, go to, and then drop your link in there. Open in a new tab if you want to. You should always give it a title and an alt attribute to all images that you put inside your site for SEO. So Zen pop up. You won't see this on the image, but it will make a difference for SEO to look at. Another little tip. So I'm going to click save. So I've added a link into the button that was created inside Zenler, and also to an image which we've got on the system itself. So now let's go to that page. I'm going to copy this, go to incognito window, and we're going to go to the About Us page where we have a few more things going on. So I've got an image there. If I click that, I'm going to get access to that PDF. If I click that, I'm also going to get access to the PDF, and I'm logged out of the system. Yeah, so that's how links work in there. I think I've covered it all. Any comments come in? No comments, so I can pop off. You now know all about links. If you've got any specific questions on any of this stuff, I think it's all explained in there. Any specific questions, then let me know, and I can just do an amendment to it or something. But that literally covers everything to do with links. So the key thing to take about links, if you're linking to files or media that you've uploaded, is to make sure that you're using it, allowing it for people to access if they're not logged into the system, i.e. they're not a student or they're not a registered with the system. Sorry, I lost it there. That's coming back from holiday, so this is the first Zen pop-up I've done. Jacob, great, I'm glad you liked it. So it sort of makes it a little bit easier to understand. I think it is really simple. When a lot of people are like, how do you do that? And when you explain it to them, they're like, oh, right, yeah. It's easier than people get really baffled by this stuff, but it's quite easy once you sort of break it down, I think. But let us know anyway if I'm going too fast or any of those things. Put stuff in the chat. Do monitor these Zen pop-ups when they go live. Good to see you, Jacob. Nice to see you here. So fabulous stuff. So got one thing in there. Jacob's like, I'm going to hop off now. These are very short, little short training series. They are based, most of these are all based on questions that come into the Facebook group. If people are struggling, if there's a continual theme of questions around links and those sort of things, then I will do a Zen pop-up. We will just pop up and we will just do it and prompt you. I'll try and tag the people into it. So Jacob's actually asked a question, which is really good. Thanks for interacting with me today, Jacob. Just be sure, if I change the custom domain, will the links in the auto emails change with it? So I said yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Right, so best practices with the relative link inside the pages, but it will default back to the right one. So you'll be okay when you change those. I always say just to run a test. So when you do change it to a custom domain or subdomain, please go in and just test those, because it's really quite common for people to not use the ones that are automatically generated by the system. Sometimes they'll put their own ones in there, like you saw me do today. They'll put that in there, they'll just forget about them, and then when they send it out, that particular link doesn't work, specifically with when you're linking to PDFs and things. Okay, so be very careful about that when you do it. Just checked. Hi Tracy, good to see you. She just arrived today, so hopefully that's helped you out, Jacob. So a little bit on links. It's this is kind of a beginner thing going through there, but it does confuse a lot of people. And of course, it's really important. If your links don't work, or you've changed the domain and you haven't taken this into account, then it can cause big problems. Lots of people have problems. Also, be careful that you don't change the name. Oh, that's something I should show you quickly. This is something else that happens as well. I'm trying to think of all these scenarios that you guys might have. Right, so if at the moment we've got the site set up with the About Us URL, right? Now this is something that confuses people. So some people go in and they go, oh, I don't like it being called About Us. I want it called something else. So they go into the gear icon in here and they'll change it. They'll say something like all about us, and then they're inside here, they'll go, oh, okay, I'm going to change that over as well because I want the URL to look like that as well. And I click update, and they'll be like, oh, that's great, look, it says all about us, brilliant. But they've put it into the site, so it's not going to work. So this is something to definitely think about. So if I go to this page now and I go to about us, it's going to go, oops, page can't be found because the link's wrong. So I need to make sure that I'm going into the page and I'm changing that over. So I need to make sure I go into that page. Now, if you're using the dynamic header, of course, it's going to ripple through the whole site. So it's not a chore, but if you've manually created your own custom header, you're going to have to go through every single page, which is going to be a nightmare. So for this one, I'm going to go into edit, and all I would do is just change that to all about us, click update. Now I can go in, I can save it, make sure to save it. And then I can go in here and now it will work again. So that is a really good thing that that people have done in the past. Click that, works now. Yeah. So that's I used to have system variables. Yeah. So Jacob, yeah, we've got, well, I mean, the system variables are in there. It does flick it over to the domain, but I don't like that. It's like I prefer to use relative URLs inside of any site, whether it be WordPress, anything I'm doing at all. If internally in a site, I always use relative. And the reason also being is that if you don't change it over, when you come up here, it will still say zen_popup.newzenler.com/whatever. And although it will resolve to the right thing, it could cause potential problems with search engine consoles and things like that are looking at that, and it doesn't resolve inside of the search console. So these are things to bear in mind, more advanced things to bear in mind. So my thing to you is just keep it relative in the menus and wherever you've got it in the site, and you'll be fine, you know, because then you can happily change it to a subdomain and all those things. But pay attention to that. If you change the name of it and you've got it anywhere in the site, say for instance I changed the name of that and I had it in, and I'd done 200 blog posts and I'd linked it all up to all of these things, and then I changed the name of it, none of them would work. And it happens a lot. People often do it with videos and things like that. If you've got a pro Vimeo account or something, you change things over and it doesn't find it, and then you are messed up. Imagine, right, that you did say throughout 500 or 1,000 videos, you had an end footer part in your YouTube channel and you'd link to a particular page, and then you decide to change it. None of those links would work. So you have to be really careful. You could do it using redirect from your host service, of course, but you wouldn't want to go down that route. So if you keep it nice and simple to start with, then you're not confusing yourself. So there we go. So great. Okay, I'm logging off for today. I will be back. I'm going to be doing the next video. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a surprise for you, is I'm going to be showing you how to use OBS, which is an open broadcasting system software, to actually be able to, if you're not using an editing suite or a recording software of any kind, it's a kind of hack for you to be able to record straight from OBS with lovely fades and things, and basically do your cutting video in one go. And I'm using OBS at the moment, so when I do these blends across to here, this is all done through OBS. So I could easily do a video. If I'm recording this, I could have a start screen, so welcome to Zen pop-up, and then I could go into my screen share, then I could save it, and I'd have a video that I could drop straight into a course, straight into YouTube. And it's so easy, you know. I haven't got to edit my video. I've got my intro set up. I've got the live where I'm on screen with the background, and I've got my screen share, and I can jump between the different scenes and have that little transition effect. I can save it out and I can use that. And it's so quick. I really want to get to do this video. I've been saving it. I've got to actually I've got to pre-record the video, which I'm going to be streaming through OBS through into Facebook to show you how it's working, because obviously I can't record and show you recording software on OBS, if you see what I mean. So that'll be the next one that I'm going to do. I'm going to do that really soon. Yep, absolutely, Jacob. Standard thing that you should do is, and Jacob's told me there, must be a bit rusty now, if you change any of the pages or any of the stuff inside your site, you should always update your sitemap. Now, that's really easy to do. You go to site. At the moment, we haven't got auto sitemap. So if you add a new page or any of those things, go into sitemap and click. You notice this one, I haven't even created sitemaps. But as soon as you hit create sitemap, it will then list all your pages. A little tip for you, Jacob, it does not index marketing funnels. Okay. So if you wanted your marketing funnels to be shown through things like Google, although Google might find them, you can